Hello my dears and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Pamela and I put out beauty related videos when I can. I love it when e.l.f. puts out a new product. You've already read the title, you know what I'm talking about here, and that is the new e.l.f. Camo Powder Foundation. I'm so excited about this product. I am actually kind of a big fan of powder foundation. The last powder foundation I used that I really wholeheartedly loved for a long time and repurchased a couple of times was the Aquasurance from JCat Beauty. I did a whole review on that if you wanted to see it. I will go ahead and link it down in the description box for you, but I am excited about this. I'm excited to talk about this. This is a review. It's not a first impressions. It's the fifth or sixth time I've used this product. I'm really enjoying it. I love powder foundations for a couple of reasons, and my favorite reason of it all is that you get a pretty decent coverage from a powder foundation, almost full sometimes. And the best part is that all of your powder products that you put on top, like your bronzer, blush, highlighter, is just going to apply like a dream. Everything just goes on so smoothly and so just like well blended. That is my favorite reason for powder foundations. I also love how fast and easy it is to apply. You literally don't have to set it. You could just apply your concealer, then set your concealer just a little bit with powder, and then apply the foundation, and that is it. It's like simplicity at its finest, and it's like so great for that person on the go. And it's so easy to just carry this thing around in your purse if you need touch-ups later. If you're like somebody who's a little bit on the oily side, like it's just so much easier to walk around with a powder foundation. So as you can see, I'm very excited about this, but I don't want to babble any longer, so let's just get right into it. Yes. Okay, so I've already done my eyebrows and my eyes. If you're curious for my eyebrows, what did I use? I used the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil in the shade Cool Brown. I'm going to do a full face of e.l.f. just because I love e.l.f. so much, and I love that they just continue to come out with so many amazing products, and I just want to put them all on my face today. For my eyes, I just used all of the Mint Melt collection products. I used both of these No Budge eyeshadow sticks, and then I used a little bit of the Chocolate Mint palette. I love this thing. It's got the most perfect everyday shades in here, so even that green. But I love this, and this is what I have on my eyes for today. I just wanted to do something very basic and simple. Didn't want to have to put too much thought into my eye makeup today, so I've already got that going on. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys in because I've actually remembered to do that this time, and we'll get started on the skin. Okay, so I've zoomed you all the way in so that you can see my skin up close and personal so that we can get started on this complexion. First thing I'm gonna do is prime, and I'm gonna use two primers today. I want the skin to be really hydrated for this. Anytime I use a powder foundation, I always make sure I add decent amount of moisturizer or a moisturizing sunscreen. That's always a good like tip or trick. And then I also really like the e.l.f. Hydrating Priming Serum. This is so good, extremely underrated. It is a super lightweight, just moisturizing primer. It's not gonna do anything for pores or like, you know, it's not like a super sticky primer, but I do like this with this powder foundation. So I kind of just rub that into the skin and kind of pat it a little bit. And then I make sure I really get that into the skin. Oh, feels so cooling and just so glorious on the skin. I think that that is one of the most underrated e.l.f. primers ever. Left over, I'm just gonna put some on my hands because it's so moisturizing and refreshing. It feels fantastic on my crusty hands. Next up, I'm gonna use a little bit of the Poreless Putty Primer. This is just going to help those large pores right in this area. And I'm also going to apply a little bit on the under eye. I've been enjoying priming that area, and I noticed that my concealer sits better when I prime the under eye as well. I'm also going to put a little bit on the nose, smile lines, mostly focusing this product in like my T-zone. I'm gonna let that kind of sink and soak into the skin for a few seconds and then we will begin. For concealer, I have two shades of the e.l.f. Hydrating Concealer. I have light peach and medium peach. I'm going to mix a little bit of both. So I'm gonna start with medium peach, and I'm just going to apply this a little bit lower than I normally would on the under eyes, just like right here, not too close to this part of my eye. And then I'm also going to use this one to sort of cancel out any redness and just kind of apply it where I would apply my concealer if I was already wearing a full face of foundation. Then using the lighter shade, I'm just going to apply a little bit of this right here, a little bit closer to my eye, and then just a tiny bit in all the other places. Like I said, I love the medium peach shade, but I feel like it's just a teensy-weensy 2-bit dark, but when I mix the two of them, I really like what that looks like underneath the eyes. I'm gonna use a Camo sponge to blend this out onto the skin, and I always make sure I do my concealer before I do my powder foundation. That way everything on top of that powder foundation blends out like a dream. Before I move on to the powder foundation, I do want to set my concealer with a little bit of the e.l.f. Halo Glow powder. I have mine in the shade Light. And I'm just going to apply very little bit of this product. So you can see it's very small amount. And I'm just going to take this fluffy brush and set the under eye. I feel like if you don't set your under eye, then what happens with the powder foundation is it's going to sort of deepen this, and you just spent all this time highlighting the under eye. Like, the last thing you want to do is have it oxidize. And now, spoiler alert, I really like this foundation. I actually have been wearing it a few times. I think this is like the 5th time I'm wearing this foundation, and I really like the way that it looks on the skin. Considering I have dry skin, this lays beautifully on top of the skin. It doesn't accentuate any of my dryness or texture. It really makes the skin look airbrushed, beautiful, blended. I have mine in the shade 210N, and it could not be the most perfect shade. On top of that, I noticed that this one, compared to like my J-Cat Beauty one, does not oxidize as much. The J-Cat Beauty one is a lot lighter in shade than this one, but this does not get as deep. But it can get a little bit on the deeper side, but not nearly as much as that one. So pleasantly surprised. The way that I like to apply this foundation is using this Makeup Geek face buffer brush. I don't sell this brush anymore, but like any sort of buffing brush is usually how I like to apply my powder foundation. And so I just take this brush and kind of just tap it into the product. I pick up a decent amount, and then I am going to start applying this right in this area of my face and sort of kind of go in tapping motions and then circular motions, buffing it into the skin as if it were like a loose powder. Is no matter how much I apply, and as you can see, I'm applying kind of a lot, the skin is not going to look cakey. It's literally just looking like skin. It's melting in so nicely, gives me the coverage that I want, and again, it looks so smooth. All of my other powder products are just going to apply like butter on top of the skin. Now I'm going to apply just a little bit of the Always Spicy blush. You guys know how I feel about this. Most gorgeous like blush and bronzer combo for me. Like I'm just gonna take this brush and gently tap into this product and also apply this right onto the skin. You're just gonna see how beautiful powder products literally just like, oh, apply like a dream on top of this foundation. Like it just looks so good. And the best part about this shade is that I can literally use this as my bronzer and my blush today. And I love the way that that looks. Oh, that looks so pretty. I'm really liking the way that looks. It's not super duper matte, so you still see some of my glowing skin coming through from just the few products that I had on before I applied the foundation, but it just looks so freaking smooth. I feel like the e.l.f. powder foundation is definitely superior to the J.Cat Beauty. The J.Cat Beauty eventually just made me look really, really heavy, and this doesn't do that. I love the coverage, and I love how it makes my skin look. I'm obsessed. For highlighter, I'm gonna use this e.l.f. Duo in the shade White Peach. Clearly, I like this highlighter. It's so pretty. I'm just gonna take a little bit on this brush and apply it to the high points of my cheek. Now I'm gonna spray my face. I love, love, love spraying this foundation with a dewy coconut setting mist because it's just gonna melt all of those powders and just make this foundation look even more skin-like. So take a look at what everything looks like. Everything looks really, really good, but just you wait when I spray this magic spray all over my face. I need to replace this one. It's almost done. So I've zoomed you in more so that you could see the skin. Sorry about my refrigerator. I cannot help it making all those sounds. But look at how beautiful this foundation looks. It doesn't even look like I am wearing a full-on powdered foundation. And you saw how many layers I added, and it still just looks like skin. I know for a fact that that dewy setting mist definitely helps this really, really melt and adhere to the skin and just look even more stunning than it did like 2 seconds ago. If you want a more mattifying look to the skin, I just wouldn't spray it. I'd leave it alone. But if you're somebody like me who wants a little extra glow, a little bit more life to the skin like this, the dewy setting mist just makes it all so much better. I love the way that this sits on the skin. I wasn't planning on doing a wear test, but you know what? It's only 12:45. Let me show you. It is 12:45, so I figured let's wear this until about 8 o'clock, 8:30, or maybe closer to 9 tonight, and just so you could see how well this wears, because I was pleasantly surprised. I actually wore this foundation to the zoo on Sunday. Today is Wednesday, and I loved the way that my skin looked. It was a beautiful day here in San Diego, and I had to wear a mask because I wear my mask anytime I go outside. I will be wearing a mask today when I go pick up my kids. I also have to go to Costco, so I'll wear a mask then. And you'll see that the transfer is very, very minimal. Powder foundations tend to do that, give you a lot less transfer than like a liquid foundation, even when you set it. But it's extremely comfortable, extremely lightweight, definitely does not cake up, looks smooth. Like the poreless putty primer in this area just made it so much better. Like I feel like the skin prep and the products that went on top of this foundation just look so good on top of it. Like I'm blown away by the quality. The powder does come in 30 different shades, which is incredible for a powdered foundation. Cannot wait until e.l.f. Cosmetics releases all of the shades online. I did pick mine up at Ulta, but hopefully soon they'll have every single shade available for everybody, because this is really, really good. And it's only like $11. That's really good. I think the J.Cat one is a little bit more expensive by like a couple bucks, but if I could save $2, I will. I'm not gonna put anything on my lips because I'm gonna wear a mask today, and I never wear lip products when I wear a mask, but this is what the skin looks like a little bit further back. Everything looks just like I want it to, and like I said, we'll go ahead and do a wear test today, and I'll keep you updated throughout the day just to show you how everything is going. But so far, so good. Okay, time to go pick up the kids. Let's go. Okay, so it's roughly what time is it? 3:23 in the afternoon, and I just wore my mask. I'm at Costco, and everything's still looking pretty good. Let's see what this looks like. Natural light. Foundation's holding up, you guys. It's looking good. Looking good. Here I'm showing you a shot of my mask that I just wore to Costco, and you can see that the transfer is very, very minimal. I have yet to find a foundation that doesn't transfer. Time is now 8 p.m. Here is my final check-in for the day. The skin still looks pretty good. Overall, I'm impressed. It wears well, it sits well, it's incredibly lightweight. The foundation makes it easy to blend powder products on top. It's a win. I'm excited for when they launch all the other shades, because this is something that a lot of people are really going to enjoy and really, really like. So I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.